Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Good evening, all. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right? Yeah. Anyone?
Yes.
Fine. Thank you. So yes. Yes, we had introductory session in the previous last Friday. So just I'll take 5 minutes what I have discussed. So Python. So Python was introduced in the year 1989. More than 30 years ago, it was introduced. But all of a sudden, Python has got super popular. So because of many features Python has got, which you are not able to see in other programming languages. And Python is the mostly used or widely used programming language today for implementing different high-end technologies, right? So as an implementation language, Python is mostly chosen today. We see like for data science with Python, that is ML, DL, AI with Python, right? And big data, right? Like Spark with Python, PySpark, right? And also with implementing different domains like using Python in a DevOps environment and in IoT, in robotics, right? So most of the hand technology is using Python as the implementation language, and also there are many other Python has got wide varieties of applications we can develop, right? So reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular. So Python has what are the features you are going to see in Python which you won't see in other programming languages. So Python has very less coding, not even one-fourth coding as compared with other programming languages. That too simple syntaxes given by Python. Simple syntaxes, right? The syntaxes looks like normal English statements. Simple syntaxes looks like normal English statements, and yes, multi-programming features. What all the features we see in different other programming languages? Multi-programming features. We see all the because of which we call Python as a hybrid language. Interactive mode. Interactive mode. We can easily interact with Python statement by statement. For every statement, it gives response, right? No other programming languages supporting this feature like interactive mode, statement by statement interaction, and wide varieties of applications. Wide varieties of applications. Wide varieties of applications. Python is mostly used for developing any kind of applications like web applications, automation applications, gaming applications, networking applications, graphical applications, gaming applications, networking applications, embedded applications, desktop applications. In this way, wide varieties of applications you can develop today by using Python, right? And many built-in libraries. Python is supporting nearly 89,300 inbuilt modules Python has got for different whatever environment you are from, Python has got a module for networking, for testing, for big data, for data science. For every environment, Python is providing a module. So we call Python as a general purpose programming. It is not for a particular purpose, any kind of application for any purpose, right? Any type of application. General purpose programming language. Platform independent. It is platform independent, machine independent or platform independent. Platform independent, right? Or machine independent. It can run on all the hardwares and all the operating systems. Python is a high level language. It is a high level language, right? Easily understandable. Uh, interpreted language, interpreted language, interpreted language, line by line execution, which makes debugging easy. Python supports all databases. Python can connect with all databases, right? And programmer friendly programming, right? Programmer friendly programming. So these are the reasons which makes Python super popular. So most of the features you won't see in other programming languages like interaction, interactive mode, right? And simple syntaxes look like normal English statements. Any kind of applications, thousands of modules, 89,000 modules. Platform independent and portable and high level interpreted language supports all major databases, programmer friendly programming. So before we go with, we need to know something about PSF, Python Software Foundation. What is that? Python Software Foundation. PSF. It is a non-profit organization. PSF, right? It is a non-profit organization devoted towards Python community. It is a non-profit organization devoted towards Python community. It was launched in the year. It was launched in the year 2001. PSF, Python Software Foundation, was launched in the year 2001. The main objective of this Python Software Foundation to faster the development of Python from version to version. And in the year 2005, Python Software Foundation, right, received Computer World Horizon Award. Okay. The president for this, Guido van Rossum, the same personality who introduced Python, is the president for this. Guido van Rossum, right? Headquarters, where are the headquarters of this? Delaware, US. Official website of Python. Python.org official Python.org is the official website, right? From where we can download, from where we can install Python, right? Yes. You can see the documentation for each and every Python release in this Python.org, right? So it takes just 1 to 2 minutes, right? It hardly takes 1 minute to install Python on any environment, right? Yes. And before we go with that, you need to know something about the Python versions. Python 1.x, the first version was released in the year 1989. Python 2.x version, it was released in the year 2.x means 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, right? The first version, two version was released in the year 2000. The version what we are using currently is the 3 version. 2008. The version what we are using currently is 3 version, 3.x. It was released in the year 2008. Almost like last 16 to 17 years, we are using the Python 3 version, like latest version of Python. Latest version of Python. Python, 1 second. Python 3.13. Python 3.13 is the latest version of Python. Stable version of Python. Stable version of Python. Python 3.12. Python 3.12 is the stable. Means the stable version is nothing but mostly used version. Python 1.x, 2.x, 3.x, the version what we are using is 3. So just to see this Python installation. Okay, so before I go with the installation, right? So I'll just go to this settings, apps, apps and features. Scroll this to the bottom of this, right? Yes. Python 3.13. Can you see this version? Python 3.13. Uninstall. I'm saying uninstall. Just I'm uninstalling this version. So Python is providing different softwares for different environments. So I'll just show you from the scratch, right? I'll just show you from the scratch how to download Python, how to install Python, right? Yes. So Python is providing different softwares for different environments for Windows, for Linux and Mac OS. For Linux, no need of any installation. Whenever you install any Linux, right? By default, Python also going to get inbuilt along with that OS. So no need of any separate installation for Python within the Linux environment. By default, you get Python as inbuilt whenever you install any flavor of Linux like CentOS or Ubuntu or Red Hat, right? Yes. Okay. But for Windows and for Mac OS, right, we are supposed to download and we need to install it. For Windows, right, Python is providing two softwares for Windows 32-bit and for Windows 64-bit. How will you check whether your OS is a 32-bit OS or 64-bit OS, right? So if right. So I'm just closing this. Uninstallation was successful. So I'll go to this file explorer. Within this file explorer, right? Yes. If you go to this C drive, right click and say, see this PC, right click and say properties, right click properties, right? Yes. You're getting 64-bit operating system. This is clearly saying 64-bit operating system. If it is a 32-bit, okay. This is saying 64-bit operating system. If it is a 32-bit, you are supposed to download 32-bit Python software. If it is 64, download 64-bit Python software. If you are working with the older versions of Windows like Windows 7 or Windows 8, if you have got 32-bit, right, you are supposed to download 32-bit Python software. Just I'm closing it. I'm closing it. I'll go back. So here, how to download Python. So what is the official website for Python, right? Official website for Python. So python.org, www.python.org is the official website from where we can download and from where we can see the documentation for each and every Python release. So just observe, right? Downloads. In the downloads, you can see all releases. In the downloads, you can see all the releases, right? Yes. All releases you can click and you can just scroll down to the bottom of this. You can scroll down, right? You can just scroll down to the active Python releases is there, looking for a specific release. Go for looking for a specific release. Looking for a specific release, right? Like Python, you can see all the Python versions from the last 20 years. You can see all the Python versions from the last 20 years, starting from June 2001, Python 2.0 version onwards, right? But choose the version you want to install. 3.13.2. 3.13 version. I said the latest version. So here it was released on February 4, 2025, almost like one and a half month ago. It was released. Just click this version which you want to install. 3.13. Scroll down to the bottom of this page. You can see the option files, various files, right? So for Mac OS, you can go with Mac OS 64-bit universal installer. For Windows, 64-bit and 32-bit. If your Windows is a 32-bit, just click this 32-bit. For 64, just click this 64, automatically your download will start. Here download started, right? So just the size of this Python is 27 MB of size. So can you see 27.3 MB of size? Click this exe file or go to the downloads folder and click that exe file. You will get this window. You will get this window, right? Yes. Now, don't immediately go for the installation. At the bottom, you can see add Python to path. Add Python to path variable of OS means the Python path is going to be added to the path variable of OS. So if we are selecting this, right, no need to go for adding environment variables manually. So by default, automatically your Python path is going to be added to the operating system. From everywhere Python is going to get recognized. So don't forget to select this option, add Python to path. Go for customize installation. Go for customize installation. So documentation of Python for any Python packages or modules to install. Ideally integrated development learning environment, Python test suite. So all these are selected. No need to, no, all these are pre-selected. Right. Just say next. Here also the things which were that are selected, right? Created shortcut for the install applications and adding Python to environment variables. See at the bottom, installation location. It is saying the installation location. See somewhere it is getting installed, right? So can you see this installation location, right? Yes. Where it is getting installed by default in C, users, Dell, app data, local, programs, Python. So somewhere tomorrow, if you want to locate where your Python is installed, right? You need to go under all these subdirectories. So instead of installing Python somewhere in subdirectories, just keep your mouse here. Just remove this big path and just install Python in my C drive. C/Python 313. Python 313 is nothing but 3.13. Python 3.13 version. Right. So now just say install. Hardly it takes 30 seconds for installing Python. Just say install. That's it. Okay. Yes. So we are almost done with the installation. We are almost done with the installation, right? Yes. And once it is successfully installed, let us check whether it is properly installed or not. So setup was successful. Just I am closing this. Yeah. At the bottom search panel, I'll type CMD and say enter. I'll type CMD and I'll say enter. I'll type Python here. I'll type Python here, right? Say enter. If I say enter, the Python version has to be displayed and the interpreter has to be open. The Python version and the interpreter has to be open. Okay. So this Python version and this interpreter, three arrow symbols you can see, right? Now, uh, you can interact with Python statement by statement. Python supports interactive mode, I said, right? Yes. Yes. Okay. Any valid Python statements, 3 plus 4, it gives the response. 21 into 42. Yes. X has 10, x plus 2, x minus 2, x into 2, x by 2, x to the power of 2, power symbol. Any valid Python statements you can type and check, right? So x equal to Ajay, y equal to Kumar. I'm adding both x plus y, you will get Ajay Kumar. Any valid Python statements. X equal to hello, x into 3 prints hello for 3 times, x into 5 prints hello for 5 times. If you say quit, it will come out of it, right? Yes. So Python is working fine. It is properly installed, right? Yes. Now go back, right? So yes, that is Python installation. So go to the python.org website and that go to the releases. In that go to the specific release. Select Python 3.13 version. And once you download, install it. Yes. If anyone in the Linux environment, if anyone is working for Linux environment, if you want the latest version of Python to be installed in your Linux machine. So by default, I said, right, Python comes as inbuilt within this Linux machine. So if you want the latest version to be installed, you can use this command, right? Yes. So everything you do from the root user. So sudo apt-get install Python 3.13. So this command will automatically downloads and installs Python into your Linux machine. Now, just talking about this Python execution modes. Python execution modes. Two modes of execution. First one is interactive mode. First one is interactive mode. Second is batch mode. So Python supports two modes of execution, interactive mode and batch mode. Interactive mode, just now we discussed, right? Here we directly type Python statements. Here we directly type Python statements on the interpreter, and the user can easily interact. Python statement by statement. Here we directly type Python statements. We directly type Python statements on the interpreter, and the user can easily interact with Python statement by statement. What is the advantage you get, right? Advantage. To test the functionalities of Python, if it doesn't know about any Python functionalities, to test the functionalities of Python and to learn Python. If it doesn't know about any Python functionality, right, you can type and check what output it is going to provide. Based on that, you can easily analyze that what is it for. To test the functionalities of Python, and to learn Python, this is mostly preferred. Which one? Interactive mode. You can type any valid Python statements. You can check what output it's going to provide. Based on that, you can analyze it. What is it for? Okay. Batch mode. Batch mode, right? Yes. So this interactive modes cannot be used for developing applications, only for testing the functionalities of Python and to learn Python, right? Batch mode. Here we write set of statements. Here we write set of statements within the editors or IDs. We write set of statements within the editors or IDs and save it by using .py extensions. Save it by using .py extension and later submit to Python. Writing set of statements or batch of statements within the editors or IDs. Save it by using .py extension, later submitting to Python. Yes. So what are the various editors and what are the various IDs supported by Python? Various editors. Various editors means like a notepad. We can write the code within the notepad and create a .py file within the edit plus. Within the edit plus, we can write the Python code, right, and create a .py file. In the case of Linux, we can go with the VI and Nano editors, right? Yes. So the first two is for Windows environment. The next two is for Linux environment, where we can write the Python code and creating a .py file. Right. Yes, Sirisha, and right, of course, covers all this Python, Django, UI, Flask, and MySQL. Yes. Fine. Batch mode. And what are the various IDs supported by Python? Various IDs supported by Python. Integrated development environment, right? So what are the various IDs? So here, various IDs. Mm, PyCharm. So we have got many IDs supported by Python, many IDs, right? PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Spider, Eclipse, PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, Jupyter Notebook, VS Code. Observe this right. Various IDs supported by Python. PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, Jupyter Notebook, right? And VS Code. So you may ask why these many IDs for Python? Why these many IDs for Python? Why not one or two IDs? Means Python is used for different environments. Different environments uses different IDs. Different environments are going to use different IDs. For example, data science, the data science using Python, right? So it uses Jupyter Notebook, Spider, even this big data environment using Spider, Jupyter, and typical web applications, right? They use PyCharm, VS Code. This way, different environments uses different IDs. So among all these, the mostly used one, PyCharm is the mostly used IDE. So it comes in two like community edition and professional edition, right? PyCharm comes into like community and professional. So it's a mostly used ID, right? So I'm going to discuss not on a single ID and multiple IDs will be discussed, right? Like PyCharm, Jupyter, VS Code, Spider, all this. Yes. Now, developing the first Python application. Yes, I'll just About the general things, the timings, the course content, everything I'll be discussing at the end of the session, right? So developing the first Python application. Developing the first Python application within a editor, right? Example like Notepad. Developing the first Python application within a editor like Notepad. Open Notepad and type the following Python statements. Open Notepad and type the following Python statements, right? Yes. Up to now, we didn't discuss anything related to Python. So just I'll take two values like x as 10, y as 20. I want to perform some kind of arithmetic operations like print x plus y. I want to perform some kind of arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So I'll take this to a separate notepad file and I'll create a .py file and just show you the execution, right? So just I'm copying this to a separate notepad file, right? Yes, within the notepad. I'm pasting here within the notepad, save it. So already I created a folder, right? Yes, within the C drive, I created a folder Python 9 p.m. batch. So I created a folder, right? 9 p.m. batch. Within that, I'll save all my .py files. So here I'm saying, right, sample1.py, sample1.py extension, right? Yes, .py extension. Now, just I'm saying here, so save as sample1.py, right? Save as sample.py. And now submit this file. And now Python as. Now submit this file to Python as. Now how I'm going to submit this file sample1.py to Python. Just at the bottom, command in the search panel, type cmd and just say enter. Go to the command prompt and type just say Python, don't say enter. If you say enter, again it will go to the interactive mode. So specify the path where this file is available. Within the C drive, write Python 9 p.m. batch. Within the C drive, Python 9 p.m. batch, write sample1.py. So in which file, in which folder, and in which drive. So specify the entire path, the file name, the folder, and this drive, right? And say enter. Now it will display this output. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, and 10 by 20. Yes. So yes, Python specifying the path, right? Yes. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, and 10 by 20. Okay, but here what is your observation? Just write your program within the notepad and save it as .py and go to the command prompt and just type Python and specify the path and the entire file. It gives the output. But here, what is your observation? But here, we are writing the code at one place. We are writing the code at one place where you are writing within the notepad. You're writing it and executing at the other place. And executing at the other place where you are executing within the command prompt. But to write and execute at the same place, to write and execute at the same place, write and execute at the same place, we have IDLE. We have IDLE, Integrated Development Learning Environment, right? Integrated Development Learning Environment, which comes along with Python installation. Which comes along with Python installation, right? Using which comes along with Python installation, using which we can write and execute at the same place. So I'll show you how to open this IDLE and how to write the code and execute the code within this, right? So just I'll copy the same code. I'll copy this code, right? Ideally, if you want to open this ideally, so just to go to your start programs, you can see all apps. You can see all apps. Within the all apps, you can see in the all the applications here. Go to Python 3.13. The first thing what we see is ideally Python 3.13. Click it. Python 3.13, right? That gets opened. 3.13 gets opened, right? Yes. If you want to work with interactive mode, you can work. Otherwise, you can open batch mode. But otherwise, even you can also say just in the bottom search panel, type IDLE, right? Yes. You can also select this ideally, right? Whichever ideally, in my systems, multiple versions are available. Which ideally you want, you can open it. Python 3.13. So can ideally Python 3.13. So either going in, otherwise you can just go where it is installed. See in the I got multiple versions of Python installed in my system 3.8, 3.9, 3.10, 11, 12, 13. So 3.13 in that ideally Python 3.13. So this is what Python shell gets open in interactive mode. If you want to interact, you can interact. But I don't want interactive mode. I want to work with the batch mode. So say file, new file, say file, new file. Write your code here. Run your code here. Run option is there here itself. Before that, you need to save it. Write the code, save the code, and execute the code. So Python, right? 9 p.m. Just I'm saying within this Python 9 p.m. Right. Sample2.py. .py extension. Any name with .py extension. Here itself we can see run module, right? Yes. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. So just here we can check 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, and 10 by 20. Yes. Writing here itself and running run module, right? Yes. Okay, that's fine. So hope so today we have discussed, right? Yes. This what we have discussed. Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular. Python has got these many. These are the features which makes it super popular. Python Software Foundation. It was launched in the year 2001, and the year it received Computer World Horizon Award. Guido van Rossum, the president and official website python.org, the Python versions, Python installation, Python execution modes, interactive mode, batch mode, various editors, various IDEs, developing the first Python application within editor, right? Yes, right. And also working with IDEA. So this is what tomorrow just I'll be entering into the technicals of Python, right? How exact what happens internally when you define some variables, data types and variables. Python supports dynamic data types, right? So yes, tomorrow also everyone can attend the session, same timing, 9 o'clock, using the same link to see more discussion on it. So tomorrow you can attend, but from day after tomorrow, the link will be changing, right? Yes. You can check with that. And if you see the course content, if you just observe this course content, right, what I'll be discussing from this basic level to the advanced level, right? Python basics, the why Python history, applications, features, advantages, versions, installations, flavors of Python. Python operations, modes of execution, interactive mode, batch mode, editors, IDEs, data types, constants, variables, comments, type conversions, escape sequences, right? Operators in Python, different IDEs, working with different IDEs with Python, and flow control statements, looping statements, strings in Python, string indexing, string slicing, string functions, string methods, string special characters, collections, lists, list indexing, list slicing, list functions, list methods, list addresses, nested list, tuples in Python, right? Dictionaries in Python, functions in Python, modules, modular programming, right? Packages in Python, errors and exception handling, right? File handling in Python, object-oriented programming concepts in brief, right? Static variable, non-static variable, class, constructors, destructors, garbage collector, right? And regular expressions, different types of modules like regular expression, how to extract data from the given data, database connectivity, connecting with the database, installation of one database, performing all these SQL operations, transaction management, Python date and time module, operating system module, advanced concepts like iterator, generator, closers, decorators, web scraping in Python, right? Yes. Working with CSV files, XML files, JSON files, right? Yes. Debugging in Python, graphical user and GUI programming, working with Excel workbook, reading and writing data into it, data analytics, direction to this data science, Python pandas in brief, NumPy model in brief, and matplotlib. These 30 topics will be discussed for Python core and advanced, right? The course fee is 5,000 for it. And people who wants to go for Python full stack along with Python, we want the frameworks of Python, right? So just Django framework. What is Django? Why Django history, web frameworks, Django installation, Django project architecture, Django application creations, Django views, Django templates, Django admin, Django models, advanced concepts, right? Yes. So nearly like 15, nearly around 15 applications we'll be developing in this, right? Apart from this, I'll be discussing the prerequisites like UI technologies like HTML in brief, CSS in brief, JavaScript in brief, and database like MySQL database, right? And a project. So you can just check with this, right? Yes. So Python core and advanced around 60 to 70 hours, around 2 months duration. 5,000 is the course fee for it. UI technologies, this is for Python core and advanced. People who go for Python full stack, entire Python package, right? Along with that, you'll be getting this UI technologies is a sub Python UI technologies, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, Django framework. And apart from Django, for this batch, I'll be discussing one more Python framework like Flask framework, MySQL database, right? And this topics from 2 to 6 also, right? I'll be spending nearly 70 hours. 2 months will be the duration for it. Python 70 hours, framework 70 hours, totally 140 hours. And 2 months plus 2 months, 4 months, right? 5,000 for this 7,000. So if you're going separately, right? But if you're taking the entire package, full stack package with a single payment, it's 10,000. And if you doesn't want to see 4 months, you feel it is too long, Monday to Friday, you'll be having Python sessions. Saturdays and Sundays, weekend batches will be there, 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sundays on these frameworks, right? Where you can go parallelly because when Python core is going on, here you will be updated with UI technologies, which doesn't require any Python knowledge, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Bootstrap. By the time core Python is completed, this will be completed, right? By the time you go with advanced Python on this way, right? And let me make it clear about the timings of this batch. First 1 week, it will be at 9 p.m., right? Later, it will start at 8 to 9, right? It will be from 8 to 9. So check these timings before you go with the payment process. And what are the offerings from my side? I'll be providing that live session videos, even if you are if you're absent for 1 or 2 days because of some ill health or because of some office timings, you can check the videos and attend the next session, right? And clear soft copy of these notes, assignments and tasks to work with to build your own code, a WhatsApp group for technical discussions where you can have direct interaction with me. Or if any errors, you can take the snap of that and post in the WhatsApp group. No need to wait until the next session. Resumes and interview questions. Live in all the sessions will be interactive sessions. Today it's a demo session. I was speaking most of the time. The normal sessions, once we enter into this programming, for every statement I type, you should be responding. You will be responding, right? With what will be the expected output. 300 plus code examples in Python Core in Advanced, 15 plus applications in this Python frameworks, right? Fine. So tomorrow also everyone can attend the session, same time at 9 o'clock using the same link to see more discussion on this. And you can see in the chart, right, a big message is given by this online team. So if you have missed this last session, right, you can just go to that session video of this previous one. And also the payment detail and payment process is provided, right, in the chart panel. You can check with that and the contact details of this online team, right? If you've got any queries related to the payments, other things you can check. The course content and the demo video link is provided, right? Yes. Fine. Yeah. Any other queries? You can just check with your queries, right? If you've got any queries, you can go ahead with your queries. When is the class starting? This Sirisha and right REST API will be separate batch. Will be starting. It will be having separate batch, but it's not part of this. When is the class starting? Means yes, 5 hours gone, right? From today, we have seen the installations, execution modes. From tomorrow, we'll be starting with the technical things, right? Yes. So it keeps going, right? Yes, daily.
Sir, is it a separate course, sir? REST APIs means?
Yes, yes.
Oh, we have to join for that separately.
Separately, it is a 2 months course for that, 1.5 month.
Oh,
Because if anyone they says just like overview they provide with 1 week, right? It won't be sufficient for the people who go for experience, right? People who go for experience, people will be providing, right? Other training sites, they will say, right, REST APIs also included. Just they will give overview, that is not sufficient. People who wants to go for REST API, right? With that 1 month, 10 days, it won't be sufficient. It is a
but
separate
at
one
least
and
you will give any examples, sir? No, as no discussions at all in this batch.
REST API, I can give overview of it.
Or you,
Yes. But
okay.
if you want in depth in brief, right? It's a separate batch will be there for it. Because with just 1 week, 10 days, right? Because a lot of knowledge is required for it. Okay,
Okay.
fine.
Are you teaching the REST API too, sir, or is that
Yes,
somebody else?
yes. I'll keep some batches, right? During this period of time, if any batch is announced, we can go parallelly with that also. Right. Fine. Any other, right? Any other queries? So in brief, in depth, you'll be getting this knowledge on this Python, right? Python Core Advanced. All the sessions will be interactive sessions, and it's not like learning the course, building the code, right? We'll be giving importance on how to build the code for us. So how to use this Python functionalities. As part of this course, as I said, it's not like 45 hours course. It's 70 hours course I'm specifying, right? Because functional programming, you'll be learning functional programming with Python, object-oriented programming with Python, scripting and modular programming with Python. That what you are going to learn here. Yes. And that too, modules in Python, if you see the course content, right? Modules, different types of modules I'm covering here. Some models, different environments, models related to different environments. Some models related to databases, some models related to operating systems, some models related to graphics, some related to Excel files, some related to data science, some models related to big data environment, and how to create our own models. Check it. All these are the modules I'm covering, right? So database module, Python datetime module, operating system module, graphic module, Excel workbook, and data science related modules like this big data module like Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, and how to create our own modules, right? User defined modules, everything will be discussed. Because of these modules and modular programming only, Python has got a great boom, super popular. And people and any domain specific modules also, how you can apply, how you can get help any module, people from any other domains or environments also, if you want their domain specific module, how to explore them, how to get the help, on particular functionality. So in the modules concept, you'll be understanding all those things. Okay.
Like, I just wanted to know, like, what is the difference between web development and like a web-based web application?
What is that?
So, what is the difference between web development and web application?
Web development, web application is going to provide you service whenever you're providing any request, right? So whenever you are providing any request, it is going to provide you the response where here request response architecture is followed, right? So for this entire web development process, right? So we'll be using this front end and back end technologies for web development, right? If you want to develop it. So front end and back end technologies are there, and frameworks are required, especially for this. It means any language you can choose for this web development. Web
Okay.
development means like a Java language or Python language you can choose. Okay. And databases, what is that you require? One language is required, one database is required, and framework is required. Framework for developing web application, compulsory framework is required. In Python, we got framework like Django. In Java, we got framework like Spring, Hibernate. In this way, we have got frameworks. So in any way, any language, if you want to develop an application, so one language like Python or Java, framework is required, database is required, right? So as compared to Java programming, today you may ask why web development through Python is preferred, because as you know, Java has got a lot of coding, huge codings you see, but Python very less coding, very less, not even 1/4 coding. And at a rapid speed, you can develop web applications using these frameworks, right? The Django framework, it is one of the famous, commonly used framework today, which has got high demand because of its features, providing flexible features to the users, right? Even 40% of the code automatically it is generating, right? So we are going to do some modifications accordingly, just giving the names. And also it has got its own database, it has got its own application server, and many flexible features it is providing, and rapid, because of which at a rapid speed you can develop a web applications using this framework like Django. Means Python has got many frameworks, the Django framework, Flask framework, Pyramid framework, Bottle framework, TurboGear. Among all this, Django is the mostly used, commonly used framework, right? Even in the, if you go for an experience, right? This framework. Okay, fine.
Uh, Thank you for the information. Like, will the full stack will developing any web application?
Yes,
Okay.
full stack web
Okay.
developer can
Thank.
develop this web application, right? Yes, he will be having the knowledge on all this UI technologies, you'll be having the knowledge on frameworks, you'll be having the knowledge on this language, databases, everything, right? As part of the course, we'll be learning all those. I'm saying, right, we'll be developing 15 applications here. And one project
Okay.
will be discussed at the end of this, right? Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sir, are you starting both weekday and weekend batches at the same time, or?
So during initially when you were there'll be a WhatsApp group, right? For this there will be a WhatsApp group. In the WhatsApp group, it will be intimated, right? Whenever in the weekend if there is a new batch, mostly like not this week, mostly the next week a batch will be starting on this frameworks, means starting with UI technologies, right? So most everyone doesn't have knowledge on this HTML, CSS, but here JavaScript also included as part of this course. Okay, so mostly not this week, the next week you might be having a batch on this UI technologies, everything, these topics from 2 to 6, right? So people will be updating with Python core, and at the weekends you will be updating with this thing. So that too, why I'm saying in the Saturdays and Sundays, where you will be getting time to develop application, just if you are taking 1 hour session in the weekdays of application today and tomorrow of application like that, again, we need to start the server, we need to start many things, right? So the weekend, what with 2 hours time, right, we can develop clear applications can be developed. Okay, fine.
In core
Fine.
Python, what are all the concepts you will be covering? Like till what part?
See, one thing, Python core, there is only Python. There is no concept of Python core and Python advanced, right? So we
Yeah.
say Python language or Java language, but here as per our, okay, just check this.
Yeah, in that till
In
where
that
Python core is going to
Python
cover?
basics, Python operations, operators, IDs, flow controls, loopings, collections, dictionaries, functions. Up to this functions, 13th topic.
Oh, that's it.
And from the remaining topics, it will be coming into these advanced concepts. Regular,
Okay.
see, all these are regular. From here onwards, you can say it is advanced one. All right. There's no
And
here all
in
from
core
top.
Python, will you cover JDBC connectivity, something like that?
See, one thing, Python core and advanced, both, it's 5,000, it is 70 hours. And there is no, it's a one course, Python core and advanced, both.
Mm.
The course fee is 5,000. There is no core Python course separately.
Oh, okay.
There is no core Python course separately. This is Python course is there with this 2 months
Oh, with
duration, 5,000.
advanced. So advanced Python means till where it's going to cover? Like,
The Python core and advanced, this entire thing, right? 5,000 is the course fee, 2 months duration, 70 hours. This entire Python
mm,
course. There's no like,
okay.
so this 30 topics, right? This is going to be this regular
Okay.
expressions, database connectivity, operating, this everything is going to be covered.
Okay. In this JDBC connectivity will also cover.
Yes, Python one database installation and connecting to the
The
databases.
database connectivity itself is known as JDBC here. We don't have JDBC in Python.
Here PDBC we say Python
It's
database.
JDBC.
Okay.
Python database connectivity is it. So here,
Mm.
not like Java, you will have that much of drivers, everything. Within just 1 minute discussion, you can easily connect with that. Just username and password of the database and just one module, just within 1 minute. Very simple to connect with a database. Just hardly 3 to 4 lines of code enough to connect with Python and database, right? Not like Java, all that drivers, everything knowledge is required. It's very simple here. And also all that how to work with the different operations and also transaction management, everything I'll be discussing. Okay, this entire thing,
Okay.
this up to topic number 30, right? This entire Python,
Mm.
right? It's
Mm.
not like Python core and advanced, both part of Python, right? Here, up to this plottings, visualizations, histograms, scatter plots, stack plots, pie graphs, normal graphs, all types of visualizations, right? Right. Okay. So this is both are covered as part of this Python course, not like only core. Core doesn't, both will be. Okay, fine. Any other queries, right? So tomorrow you can attend the session, more discussion, continuation from where we have stopped. You will be getting all these clear notes of this. So you'll be getting the videos to your Google Drive, notes to your mail IDs, the WhatsApp group, you will be added to the WhatsApp group, right? So, okay, thank you all for your time. Thank you. Meet you tomorrow, same time, right? Good night.